Welcome back to our channel Class Like Community. So today we will be dealing with the lecture 2, that is the quantum free electron energy. So as in the previous video we have already discussed what are the contents of the module 5. I hope you all have watched it and have moved to our lecture 2. So let's cover the topics which we will do in this particular lecture. There are 4 topics, or we can say subtopics, in this particular lecture. First of all is the review of classical free electron theory. Second is the failure of classical free electron theory. Third is the quantum free electron theory of metals, in which we will know about the assumptions. The last but not the least is the DOS, or we can say the density of states. So without wasting more time, let's begin with the review of classical free electron theory. So first of all, the review of classical free electron theory was proposed or introduced by Drude and Lorentz. That's why this theory is also known as Drude-Lorentz theory. Okay, so here first of all we will know about the postulates. So what is basically the postulates are, let's see. So it states that a metal is assumed to possess a 3-dimensional array of positive ions with randomly moving free electron gas combined to metallic boundary. See, as it is a metal, it will obviously have a metallic boundary. So what happens? A metal will assume to possess a 3-dimensional array of positive ions, and it will be randomly moving with free electron gas. So the main points you should need to remember that it is a metal which will be having a metallic boundary, right? And all this 3-dimensional array of positive ions which will be with the free electron gas will be confined, that means will be within that metallic boundary. Okay, next, this free electron gas, that means the randomly moving free electron gas, is treated as equivalent to gas molecules. That means whatever the gas molecules are is similar to our free electron gas, and they are assumed to obey the law of kinetic energy of gases. Okay, now what happens? We will have an equation when we have the absence of any electric field. There will be an energy associated with all the electrons which will be equal to, that means our kinetic energy will be equal to 3 by 2 kT. Now can you state me what does K resemblance and T resemblance? So K is the Boltzmann constant and T is the temperature, and temperature unit is always in Kelvin, right? Now the electric current, a metal, is due to the drift of electrons. So sometimes in this statement a reasoning may come as a 1 marks in your exam. So it states that the electric current, a metal, is due to the drift of electrons. So due to the drift of electrons, the electric current, a metal, in a direction opposite to applied electric field. So if you think the electric field direction is on right, so it will be opposite. Okay, and the last thing which you need to know in the postulates is that the electric field due to these ions is assumed to be constant. So now the important thing which is in your course is the expression for electrical conductivity. So electrical conductivity has the sign as sigma. So from Ohm's law, J is equal to sigma A. So think for a moment, what is J and what is E? So J is nothing but current density, and E is your electric field intensity. So when E is being bring down to J, so we get a sigma which we need for our expression, right? So J, that is a current density, is equal to NeVd. Now what is N, what is E, what is Vd? So first of all start with this N. So N is the electron concentration, E is the charge of electrons, and Vd is your drift velocity. Okay, and similarly this E will also have, that means the electric field intensity will also have something. So mVd by Et. So see, this M is your effective mass of electron. Vd you know already that it's density, that means velocity. drift velocity, right? Not density, it's drift velocity. Sorry for the mistake. E is your charge of electron and T is the relaxation time, or you can say timing simply. So what happens, this E and T will move above, so it will become NE square T. VD will cut because one VD is above and another VD is down. So you will get the formula as of sigma is equal to NE square T by M. So this was basically the review of classical free electron theory. So you need to know about the postulates for that, and Drude-Lorentz theory is the other name of it. Now we will know about the failures of classical free electron theory. Okay, so there are four failures which are there. One is the prediction of low specific heats for metals. So first is that it states classical free electron theory assume that conduction electrons are classical particles similar to gas molecules. So it is similar to a gas molecules, hence they can free to absorb energy continuously. That's why the metal starts possessing more electron, which causes them a higher heat content. Due to that, it results in high specific heat given by the expression Cv equal to 10 minus 4 R. Okay. So when it is contradicted with the experimental results, it shows that it has low specific heat. It gives you Cv equal to 3 by 2 R. So the first failure you need to remember is the prediction of low specific heats for metals. So how you will remember C? Here this one is it will be electrons. Okay, see what happens as the statement states that prediction of low specific heat for metals. So low specific heat, you need to know that it is Cv equal to 3 by 2 R. Simple. Whereas the high specific heat is Cv equal to 10 to the power minus 4. So if one you will remember, the other you will automatically remember. So you need to know the heat, then when you contradict it, the low specific heat comes to 3 by 2 R. So if you need to write this statement, you will say that classical free electron theory. So it is a classical free electron theory. So what happens, this conduction electrons are classical particles, or you can say this conduction electrons is similar to gas molecules. One line written. Next you will say that they will absorb energy continuously, and at last you will say due to that this metal possesses more electrons, which will causes them higher heat content. Due to that it will result to high specific heat. As you remember the high specific, you will remember the contradiction also. Similarly, now you will move on to the second one, that is a temperature dependence of electrical conductivity. That means the electrical conductivity depends on a temperature, which we have already seen in the expression for electrical conductivity. If you remember, there was a T, right? So what happens now? From assumption of kinetic theory of gases, 3 by 2 kT. So we have known K is for Boltzmann constant. This T will be capital, so make the changes, and equal to half mv squared, which you already know. So also mean collision time, that is T, is inversely proportional to the velocity. So you know that this is a time in the sigma, that means electrical conductivity. So what happens? If our collision time is inversely proportional to the velocity, that means it is also inversely proportional to 1 by root under T. So if we change this T to 1 by root under T, this will state that sigma is also inversely proportional to 1 by root T, which will obviously state you that temperature dependence of electrical conductivity. Okay, so these are the first two failures which causes. So if it is of 2 marks, then you will only write the headings like prediction of low specific heat for metals, the temperature dependence of electrical conductivity, and the next two. Okay, but if it's of more marks like 3 or 5 marks, you need to write the descriptions also. Okay, so now let's move on to the third and the fourth. Okay, before that, however, experimental study shows that Sigma is inversely proportional to 1 by T. Okay. Now we will move on to a third and the fourth. The third states that it is the it was the temperature dependence of electrical conductivity. Now what happens? Now it is the dependence of electrical conductivity on electron concentration, or you can say that as per free electron theory, simple, this is the most simple failure which have been caused. You need to remember that whenever the electrical conductivity of zinc and cadmium is less than of copper and silver, whereas the electron concentration of zinc and cadmium is more than copper and silver, this will not be good. That means as per the free electron theory, the sigma when directly proportional to n does not hold any good. So the main thing which you need to remember, that first you will think about the electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity with which two? Zinc and cadmium and copper and silver. So as it is electrical conductivity, so we are thinking of electrical conductivity, so it's zinc and cadmium, so it will be less from the copper and silver. When it is the electron concentration, so see, concentration always means something high. Concentration, whenever you study, what you need high level of concentration, so you can remember like this. So electron concentration will be high, more than for of copper and silver. So the sigma directly proportional to n does not hold any good. And the last and the foremost is the mean free path and mean collision time found during this classical theory are always incorrect. Okay, so these are the four failures of classical free electron theory. So now let's move on to the assumptions of the quantum free electron theory of metals. So there are basically four assumptions here. The first assumption is that the free electron possesses energy. So obviously the electron will possess some energy, and this energy will have some values, and these values are quantized. So the allowed energy levels are realized in terms of set of energy levels. So this is the first assumption. Second is that we are talking about electrons, so obviously electron will not be in a constant position. It will move from one level to another. So similarly, the second state that about the distribution of electrons in various energy levels, and it will occur as per Pauli exclusion principle, which states that the single energy level can occupy by only two electrons but with opposite spin. Okay. Now we have completed the electron possess energy and the distribution of electrons. Now we will directly move on to the lattice. That means the electric potential throughout the lattice will be taken to constant. So first two talks about the electrons, the last two talks about the lattice. So here the lattice will be taken as constant, and this one it will state that the attraction and the repulsion between the lattice points and electrons, or lattice point themselves or electrons themselves, are ignored. So first two is about the electrons. First is that electrons possess energy and it will have some values and it will be quantized. And the second is about the distribution of electrons. The third is about the lattice will be constant. And last is that the lattice point and electrons or lattice point themselves or electron themselves are ignored. Now let's move on to the last topic of today, that is the density of states, or you can say state it as DOS. So density of state, so see, energy level. So what is the distribution of electrons? It will move from one energy level to another, right? So energy or levels of electrons in a solid state will look like bands. Whenever we look closer, you will see that like rainbows are always, whenever you see the rainbow, what happens? The 7 colors are uniformly distributed. But in this state, that is this energy level in the band, are not uniformly distributed. The number of energy levels per unit, or you can see unit energy range, is explained by density of state. So what does density of state explain? The number of energy levels. Now if it states in your examiner that state what is density of state, so you will see in your course there is no derivation of the density of state. You just simply need to know about the statement and the formula. So what is density of state? It states that density of state is the number of allowed energy levels in infinitesimally small energy increment. So what happens if whatever the allowed energy level, it will increase by little bit in the valence band of the material. So you will state the formula as GeDE equal to states by volume dE, and the formula will be 4 pi 2m to power 2 by 3 square root of E by h cube. Okay, so you just need to know the formula and the statement and you will get your marks. So I hope all of you understood the lecture of today, and obviously thank you for watching, and if you have any queries you can comment us down below, and moreover till then be happy and have a great day, and again thank you.
That's impressive! You have completed a magic today. For more videos, subscribe. Join our Facebook group and Instagram page for group discussion and live magazine videos for exam preparation in an hour. We start at class-like community for students to learn from a friend in a simple way and support them in their own languages. If you are willing to be that one friend who saves us at the exam night preparation, then please join us by visiting classfly.in.